So this is the second time I've recorded this video. I went through this whole long video and realized that the audio wasn't even on. Very frustrating. So anyway, this is my series called Let's Ask Oscar, where I either respond to questions or comments. And I made a video last week about Will Smith. You can find it up above. And in the video, Will Smith discussed his spirituality. He says that his religion is love. And someone had left a comment. They left this comment right here, which I'm going to read on screen right now. And I'm going to blank out their name because this is not about them. They say, yet he dwells in Hollywood with those people. And what stood out to me is that, I know Will Smith was saying that, oh, my religion is love. And immediately people start thinking about him slapping Chris Rock. And then also, they're probably thinking in their mind, well, if you are such a spiritual guy, why are you living in Hollywood? I find it funny because a lot of people don't realize that Hollywood is everywhere. We all live in a version of Little Hollywood, similar to how you find like a little Chinatown or a little Italy. We all live in a little Hollywood. And that's to say that there is darkness, there is sin, and there are things happening in our own backyard that we are not aware of. So it's very easy for us to point at Will or to point at these celebrities and say, oh, that's where the evil is. And in reality is that we can also be very oblivious to the things that are even happening in our own backyard. So one of the things that I said to the person in my response to them is that I don't believe the issue is necessarily where Will lives. I think the issue really comes down to two things. Number one, does he believe on Christ? Does he put his full faith and belief in Christ, in Jesus, for his salvation? And then number two, is he salt and light to his community? And I think this is important for us to even reflect on. Are we salt and light to our own communities? Because Jesus told us to be salt and light to the world. Jesus says this to us in Matthew chapter 5. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? Is it then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men? You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but put it on a lampstand and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. And salt has so many deep spiritual meanings behind it. And I'll need to make a completely separate video on all the spiritual depth of what salt means in the Bible. But in the simplest manner is that salt serves as a purifier and in a lot of ways, a divider, right? So when we are out in our communities, are we helping to pure our communities of sin? Are we helping to be that divider between those things that are pure and impure? Are we helping to be a light to the world? Are we walking according to how Jesus has called us to walk so that when people look at us, they can see God's grace and God's mercy, and that we can be true reflections of children of God? And I think that's the more important point that I believe that the commentator was missing is that regardless of where Will Smith lives, does he believe on Christ and is he being salt and light to the world? And I think that's a question that we need to start asking for ourselves first, because we all live in Little Hollywood and there is things happening in our own backyard. There's evil happening, there's sin happening, there's pain, there's suffering, there's poverty. So I think the key here is that we should look at ourselves and recognize that, are we doing the things that Christ has called us to do? Because in the process of doing that, I believe that others will see us as salt and light, and they'll start to examine their own life. And in the meantime, we should keep our neighbors and our community in prayer. Those are my top line thoughts. I just wanted to share with you guys really quickly why it was on my mind. So this is still a small channel, so I really appreciate if you can like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Oscar Chow. I really appreciate your support. Thanks, and I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.